I'll lay you outside then. We'll see what happens. Yeah, sure, we'll see. I'm gonna check. But, GG for the latest dead space inventory. The auto rifle didn't really have that good of a pair to me, but I didn't check the others. Well, according to this, the sidearm, the sniper rifle, and the sword are all A rank. That rifle is D, yeah. And then the hand cannon B. I might lose your arm outside with him. Oh, okay. Well, you can just mute yourself or something. Might as well. Okay, yes, hang on. Go ahead. I'll be here. I play music too, but got copyright notices for my own music. I need to. I can send you what I've been playing, just because it's been getting me really into it. What's that? Oh, I can send you music that I've been listening to just because when I've been using that for this operation and I'm just like coasting through. Let's see. Well, I'm trying to figure out how to listen to music without having it play through the desktop audio. That's my thing. Oh, there's Zer's ranked items. There items ranked too. Hawkman. Can you pair it? Do you still not have the phone? Wait, are you inside? Yeah, mute yourself. You're just using that balloon and then I started coasting through here. Thank you. Oh, sniper rifle. I'll put that. There you go. Definitely. I don't really watch it. Can you pair it? Do you still not have the phone? Yeah, mute yourself.
Tonight on PBS News Weekend, escalating tensions in the Middle East as Israel keeps up its bombardment of Hezbollah in Lebanon, where at least 1 million people have been displaced.
The future of Lebanon will be good, God willing. We will recover from these wars and these great blows and
And we're back.
disasters. Lebanon is a home.
Anyway, sorry I was cutting in and out there, but
Rare but serious
yeah, but my yard is really weird. Like, if I'm close to the garage, I lose a signal, but if I'm deeper into the yard but away from the garage, I still have it.
breaking flooding parts of the southeast 3 days after Hurricane Helene made landfall.
Anyway, I was going to tell you, run music through your headset or whatever. Can you just connect your headset to your phone? Or run Spotify through your headset from your phone? Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Maybe someone in the comments,
Major
don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm sorry, I was like, don't forget to like and subscribe our video.
Pocket dial. Well, somebody's pocket.
Thought I'd let you know that with Consumer Cellular,
You get nationwide coverage with no contract. That's kind of our thing.
have a nice day.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm sorry, I was like, don't forget to like and subscribe our video.
and with the ongoing support of these individuals and institutions. And friends of the NewsHour. This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm John Yang. While keeping up its bombardment of Hezbollah in Lebanon, Israel struck another Iranian-backed militant.
Every other time I've died, it's because I've either fallen off of something or got hit by one cannon. Or no, one time I got killed by a cursed roll, because, those fuckers just like to explode next to you.
Missiles fired at Israel. But Israel's main focus remains Hezbollah, striking
No problem. Let me take 5 real quick. You know who is doing this thing.
rocket launchers and building sensitive stores.
Then I'll lay you outside then. We'll see what happens.
Days after the massive Israeli strike that killed Hassan Nasrallah, smoke still rises from the rubble of Hezbollah's headquarters in southern Beirut. A fitting image for what Israel has done to the militant group's top command. Today, Hezbollah confirmed the death of Nabil Kaouk, deputy head of its Central Council, the 7th top official Israel has killed in a little more than a week. Israel's targets today included 2 buildings near Sidon on the Mediterranean coast. Lebanese health officials said at least 24 people were killed. Meanwhile, Israeli defenses intercepted most of the rockets and missiles Hezbollah fired at Israel. Across Lebanon, hundreds of thousands of people have fled their homes, some camping out on streets, others seeking refuge in a parking lot. The Lebanese government estimates that about 250,000 are in shelters. In Beirut, some residents, like Ayman, feel lost.
The future of Lebanon is in God's hands now. Nothing is clear. Look at us. We are sleeping in the streets. That is how our life is now.
Others, like Francoise, are defiant.
You won't be able to destroy us. Whatever you do, however much you bomb, however much you displace people, we will stay here.
In Sidon, Mohammed says he thinks about evening the score.
The war will continue, God willing, until we take our revenge for the Gazan people and the displaced people in Lebanon.
On ABC's This Week, White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said the United States is prepared for any response.
Well, their rhetoric certainly suggests they're going to try to do something. I mean, just coming out of Tehran, but we don't really know. We're watching this very, very closely to see how, if and how, Hezbollah and or Iran may react, as well as the militia groups in Iraq and Syria.
Late today, President Biden said all-out war in the Middle East has to be avoided. He said he would soon talk with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Special correspondent Layla Milana Allen is in Beirut tonight. Layla, Israel seems to be just striking at will for the past several days. What's this doing to the Lebanese people?
The feeling amongst the Lebanese people is one of terror. There's always a sense here that a hope that things won't be as bad as they seemingly could get, but those chances of this not becoming all-out war in the Middle East seem to be dwindling by the second. Arriving from Beirut Airport, which is normally an incredibly lit-up area with busy streets, everything was dark, all the lights out, really somber, quiet. People are incredibly fearful of what's to come, because, of course, the biggest event was the confirmation yesterday by Hezbollah that the head of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, was killed by Israel in that enormous strike in the southern suburbs of Beirut on Friday. And since then, people now feel all cards are off the table. Anything could happen. And it hasn't stopped since. Today, 100 people were injured, more than 50 killed in further strikes across the country. People are terrified, many of them flooding to the airport. But many also returning to Lebanon, saying they're going to stay here through the war. They've done it before, and they can do it again. Of course, the last time we saw this on this level was in 2006. That was a 33-day war. More than 1,000 people were killed. But already 3/4 of that number have been killed in just the past week in Lebanon.
The target of all this is not the Lebanese people, but it's Hezbollah. How do the people view Hezbollah? Are they, do they stand with it, or are they angry that they have brought this on them?
This is a lot more complicated than the way that it's often presented. So, of course, Hezbollah is not all of the Lebanese people. The majority of the Lebanese people do not support Hezbollah. Within those who do support Hezbollah, Hezbollah is not just a terrorist organization as it's designated by Western nations. It's not just a military organization. It's also a political one. It forms part of the government here. It runs social services, hospitals, schools. So many people who live in Hezbollah areas, while they might not like some of the foreign political actions that Hezbollah takes, they are looked after them on a daily basis. They are the people who are essentially their local government. And beyond that, even though there are many Lebanese who feel that Hezbollah are responsible for what's happening now, have brought this on the country by refusing to lay down their arms since the end of the civil war and by repeatedly attacking Israel, they still do feel that Israel is the aggressor here. This is not a case where anyone agrees with what Israel's doing. The Israeli army, the IDF, they say that they are carrying out only precision strikes, but we are seeing so many civilians killed. These are very, very densely packed residential areas. Hezbollah militants live amongst these people, so it's impossible to separate the two out, and everyone here feels that Israel is the aggressor in this and is being indiscriminate in its attacks.
Of course, there was an all-out war between Lebanon and Israel within the past 2 decades. Does that memory affect people?
That affects people hugely. People my age here were in high school in 2006. I remember those days. I had Lebanese friends who were getting onto aircraft carriers from the port because, of course, the first thing that the Israeli army did was hit the airport, take out Beirut Airport. They haven't done that so far, but that memory is very fresh in people's minds. A lot of young people died. Half of the capital was decimated, as was the whole of the south. So people remember very freshly, people who are just in their 20s and 30s, how terrible that war was, how long it took to rebuild, and they're absolutely terrified of that happening again. And of course, the difference this time is that the last time there was a war, Lebanon was on a high. It had rebuilt after the civil war. The economy was doing better. There was lots of building work going on. They had more money. They were able to rebuild without too much trouble, although it did take a while. This time round, Lebanon is reeling from years of crisis, the third biggest financial crash in history. There's huge unemployment. Many people have left the country to try and find jobs. Those left here are the most desperate, the most vulnerable, and they really can't cope with this. We're seeing hundreds of thousands of people now either displaced or fearing that they will have to leave their homes. They really don't have anywhere to go, and they don't have the money to support themselves, and they don't have a government that can support them either.
Israel has really shown its capability throughout this, the ability to infiltrate the supply chain with the pagers, to strike Hezbollah's leadership at will. Has this in any way changed the balance of power in the region?
It absolutely has. I mean, what's become very clear, not just in the past week, but over the past few months, is that if anybody ever underestimated Israel, they were fools to do so. At the beginning of the war with Gaza on the 8th of October last year, many people were saying, oh, Israel has to be very careful, they can't afford to split their forces if they're thinking about the northern border with Lebanon as well. They're now not just thinking about Gaza and the northern border with Lebanon, as well as the deployments they have in the West Bank. They've also been striking the Houthis in Yemen. They're threatening Iran as well, and they've shown that they can do it. Over the past few months, what they've achieved, taking out the leader of Hamas in Tehran on foreign soil when he was attending the inauguration of the new president in Iran, being able to take out Hassan Nasrallah, who is nothing short of a myth, really. I mean, this man, it's difficult to overstate how important his legend is in this part of the world. People thought he was a ghost, that you would never be able to get hold of him. He lived underground, he never appeared in public, he was able to move seamlessly, and somehow they managed to get him. The level of intelligence that Israel must have to be able to have infiltrated to the point where they could kill Hassan Nasrallah, where they could take out all these different leaders, and where they were able to tackle the pagers and the walkie-talkies, smuggling explosives into the homes of thousands of Hezbollah operatives. It's very clear that they have been working with a huge network of intelligence, that they've infiltrated every level of this sheer network across the region. And people now feel that there's more to come. They're not finished yet.
More to come. Layla Milana Allen in Beirut tonight. Thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
In today's other news, remnants of Hurricane Helene are wreaking havoc 3 days after making landfall, dumping rain across the southeast, Midwest, and parts of the Appalachians. It's blamed for at least 64 deaths. Today, North Carolina's governor said he expects the death toll in his state to rise. Flooding has inundated the western part of North Carolina. Homes and businesses have been destroyed and bridges and roads collapsed. Millions across the southeast are without power. Entire rural communities don't have cell service or internet service. That leaves them unable to call for help. Some neighbors are trying to fill the gap.
We have a lot of elderly people over there.
In today's other news, remnants of today's other news.
They're not finished yet.
More to come. Layla Milana Allen in Beirut.
My entire generation has been consumed by this endless war. For more than 30 years, we've sacrificed and bled for a memory of peace we've never known. Few remain of those who fought before, and the burdens of command now fall on us. We were trained to survive in a hostile, changing galaxy, to evolve and adapt new tactics, and leverage the environment in our favor using the shifting phase lanes to cut off our enemies. This new form of guerrilla warfare would serve us well into years to come. Our economic and manufacturing systems will become more resilient, more flexible. We would become unparalleled in maintaining the essential supply lines required to fuel the war effort. And we would modernize our fleets to take advantage of newly discovered resources. But our enemies have not stood idle. The alien Versari have continued to race ahead of us in their mastery of phase technology. Reports of strange structures empowering devastating new fleet tactics have become increasingly frequent. The Advent deviants have proven to be our greatest threat. Their spread across former traitor worlds has reached a critical mass, and now allows them to function as one. The collective will, bent on our destruction. Now, something new is on the horizon. Signals from both friendly and enemy planets are falling at an unprecedented pace. And all attempts to survey the situation have failed. We don't know what's out there, but a confrontation is imminent. We'll be ready when it comes.
Commerce upgrade complete. Got a job for me? How can I be of service?
An auction is underway.
Military research complete. Exotic resources have been located by our survey teams.
You transfer the credits. We'll handle your enemies.
Reporting in. A sound plan. We're underway. Where do you need me? Ahead slow.
You failed to place a bid.
Reporting in. Fleet deployment acknowledged. A sound plan. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Slow. How can I be of service? Reporting in. A sound plan. A new colony has been founded. Done and dusted. Where do you need me? Ahead slow. A sound plan. Defense upgrade complete. Reporting in. We're underway. Additional credits required. Ahead slow. We're underway. Ahead slow.
You transfer the credits. We'll handle your enemies. Get to the point.
Exotic resources have been located by our survey teams. Survey teams have found something interesting. Military structure complete. Military research complete. Planet item complete. The item is complete. Research rate upgrade complete. Where do you need me? Reporting in. We're underway. Military structure complete. How can I be of service? Civilian research complete. Military research complete. Got a job for me? Preparing for phase jump. Where do you need me? Commerce upgrade complete. Civilian structure complete. How can I be of service? Civilian structure complete. Ahead slow. A sound plan. How can I be of service? Civilian research complete. A new colony has been founded. Additional credits required. Where do you need me? Logistics upgrade complete. Our planet is under siege. How can I be of service? We're underway. This should be a routine combat mission. Civilian structure complete. Military research tier complete. Reporting in. Ahead slow.
Transfer the credits. We'll handle your enemies.
Done and dusted. Where do you need me? Civilian research complete. We're underway. Time to bid. Place them high. Exotic resources have been located by our survey teams. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Defense upgrade complete. Another faction has claimed the metal market.
Let this be a lesson. Next time, pay up.
Reporting in. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Military structure complete. The numbers add up. Let's do this. Military structure complete. We agree. Peace lets both of us profit. We agree. Peace lets both of us profit. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Civilian research complete. Where do you need me? Civilian structure complete. A sound plan. More crystal is needed. How can I be of service? Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Reporting in. Civilian research complete. We're underway.
All right, you twisted me arm.
Ahead slow. The item is complete. Mining upgrade complete. Military research complete. Planet item complete. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Insufficient metal. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Military structure complete. Civilian structure complete. Military research complete. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Civilian structure complete. Our fleet is under attack. Where do you need me? Civilian structure complete. How can I be of service? We're underway. Reporting in. Scouts have found a colonizable planet.
Bought and sorted.
Reporting in. Ahead slow. A sound plan. We're underway. Ahead slow. Defense upgrade complete. Military structure complete.
Your words do not resonate. For now, it's a no.
Military structure complete. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Planet item complete. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Ahead slow. A sound plan. Mining upgrade complete. We're underway. Our fleet is under attack. A new colony has been founded. Reporting in. Ahead slow. We're underway. This should be a routine combat mission. Under siege. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Done and dusted. Defense upgrade complete. How can I be of service? Civilian research tier complete. Where do you need me? We're underway. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Exotic resources have been located by our survey teams. Military research complete. Military structure complete.
Your influence is undeniable.
How can I be of service? Our fleet is under attack. A sound plan.
We are entertaining offers.
Done and dusted. How can I be of service? This should be a routine combat mission. Our planet is under siege. Civilian research complete. Research rate upgrade complete. credits required. Reporting in. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Reporting in. Commerce upgrade complete. Ahead slow. We're underway. Where do you need me? Ahead slow. A sound plan. We're underway.
You transfer the credits. We'll handle your enemies.
Exotic resources have been located by our survey teams. Military research complete. Reporting in, and it doesn't look good. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Hope we're up to the task. Our fleet is under attack. The item is complete. Done and dusted. We're in a tough spot. How can I help? Let's get there safe and sound. Defense upgrade complete. Let's see if we can scrape our way out of this. Planet item complete. Hope we're up to the task. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Reporting in, and it doesn't look good. Let's get there safe and sound. Military structure complete. Military research complete. We're in a tough spot. How can I help? Could be risky with these passengers aboard. Hope we're up to the task. Reporting in, and it doesn't look good. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. We're in a tough spot. How can I help? All hands, prepare for base jump. Mining upgrade complete.
An auction is underway.
A sound plan.
You've made a wise acquisition.
Civilian structure complete. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Military research complete. can I be of service? Reporting in. We're underway. Our planet is under siege. Ahead slow. Done and dusted.
You failed to place a bid.
Where do you need me? Military structure complete. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Military structure complete. The numbers add up. Let's do this. Military structure complete. The numbers add up. Let's do this. Military structure complete. Military research complete. How can I be of service? A sound plan. Reporting in. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. How can I be of service? Brace for combat. Our fleet is under attack. Civilian research complete. sorted. We're in a tough spot. How can I help? The item is complete. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Research rate upgrade complete. Reporting in. Ahead slow. Civilian research complete. Our planet is under siege.
Is underway.
Civilian research clear complete. You want us over with your fancy words? You're going. We've lost contact with one of our planets.
I will deliver your order personally.
Where do you need me? A sound plan. The item is complete. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Hostile forces have arrived. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Our fleet is under attack. Where do you need me? Ahead slow. Planet item complete. All hands, prepare for phase jump. How can I be of service? Our fleet is under attack. Hope we're up to the task. Brace for combat. Our fleet is under attack. How can I be of service? Hold steady, we're going in. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. All hands, prepare for phase jump.
Your influence is undeniable.
Our fleet is under attack. Hostile forces have arrived. The item is complete. Military research complete. Our planet is under siege. Where do you need me? A sound plan. Ahead slow. Hold tight. This'll only take a minute. How can I be of service? All hands, prepare for phase jump. Our fleet is under attack. Military research complete. Hostile forces have arrived. We'll have to fight our way out of this. Could be risky with these passengers aboard. Time to bid. Place them high. We'll have to engage. Brace for combat. Another faction has claimed the metal market. Let this be a lesson. Next time, pay up. We're in a tough spot. How can I help? Our planet is under siege. Let's get there safe and sound. Reporting in, and it doesn't look good. Military research complete. Additional credits required. Civilian research complete. Our planet is under siege. Let's see if we can scrape our way out of this. Hope we're up to the task. This is the Akan battle cruiser. My shields are down. Civilian research complete. Hold tight. I'll try fighting them off. The item is complete. Military sound? We're wide open! Armor's been breached! An ally colony has been lost. Hope we're up to the task. Reporting in, and it doesn't look good. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Civilian research complete. Our fleet is under attack. A sound plan. Our fleet is under attack. A new colony has been founded. We've lost contact with one of our planets. How can I be of service? An ally has lost a starbase. An ally colony has been lost. Mining upgrade complete. Civilian research complete.
Your influence is noted. We have a deal.
Your arguments are compelling. I shall stand with you.
You've made a wise acquisition.
We're underway.
An auction is underway.
A sound plan.
You failed to place a bid.
Upgrade defense to unlock more military slots. Planet item complete. Military structure complete. Military structure complete. Commerce upgrade complete. Military structure complete. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. More crystal is needed. Civilian structure complete. Reporting in.
In today's other news, remnants of Hurricane Helene are wreaking havoc 3 days after making landfall, dumping rain across the southeast, midwest, and parts of the Appalachians. It's blamed for at least 64 deaths. Today, North Carolina's governor said he expects the death toll in his state to rise. Flooding has inundated the western part of North Carolina. Homes and businesses have been destroyed and bridges and roads collapsed. Millions across the southeast are without power. Entire rural communities don't have cell service or internet service. That leaves them unable to call for help. Some neighbors are trying to fill the gap.
We have a lot of elderly people over there that we couldn't get help to, and we're just trying to keep everybody alive.
It happened so fast to me and scared the life out of me, because nothing like that ever happened. And I apologize, because I'm not from here, so I didn't realize how the streets were. You know, I didn't know that it possibly could be that deep.
This is the third storm in a year. It's like, I don't know how much more we can take, and then they're telling us there's another one out there.
The head of FEMA says the agency is trying to move satellite communications, bottled water, and additional medical services to the most affected areas. More than 100 Ukrainian drones were shot down over several regions of Russia today. Overnight, Russian-guided bombs pummeled the Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia, wounding at least 16 people and damaging infrastructure and residences. This past week, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky pressed allies for more air defense support to help intercept guided bombs. Still to come on PBS News Weekend, the deadly floods destroying homes and businesses in North Carolina in the wake of Hurricane Helene. and a rare life-threatening condition that landed 9 members of a college lacrosse team in the hospital.
This is PBS News Weekend from the David M. Rubenstein studio at WETA in Washington, home of the PBS News Hour, weeknights on PBS.
The remnants of Hurricane Helene have been wreaking havoc hundreds of miles from where it made landfall in Florida 3 days ago. Western North Carolina is one of the hardest hit areas. Laura Hackett is a reporter for Blue Ridge Public Radio in Asheville. Laura, give us some sense of what it's been like in Asheville the last few days.
Yeah, it's been almost total infrastructure loss in Asheville. It's been really hard. There's no water in the city currently. Cell service has been gone, internet, power. We're just starting to get a little bit back online. Some people are starting to get cell service, so it's been really challenging. Water is definitely the most dire thing right now. We don't have water yet in the city. Folks are trying to bring it into Asheville, but because Hurricane Helene wiped away large swaths of the highway, it's stopping tractor trailers from getting into the region. So that's the situation we're in right now.
I know that you said that cell service is out and that roads are closed. Are there people who can't call for help, or are people who the help can't get to them?
Yeah, that's been one of the most challenging aspects of this as well. There's somebody in Asheville who's keeping kind of a grassroots database, and so far around 1,000 folks have, last time I checked yesterday, have submitted. They're trying to find missing people for welfare checks because they haven't heard from them. So yeah, folks have been really having a hard time connecting in places in the area like Swananoa and Biltmore Village, which went completely underwater during when we did have the big floods. Search and rescue missions are still going on, but it's been really hard because trees have fallen down, there's telephone wires everywhere. You know, we have a really mountainous terrain out here, and so there's just a lot of roadblocks, both, you know, topography-wise and communication-wise, that's stopping emergency responders from being able to get to people quickly.
What do we know about casualties?
As of this morning, a press conference with Roy Cooper confirmed that there were 11, Governor Roy Cooper of North Carolina confirmed there were 11 fatalities in the state, and Buncombe County at a press conference this morning confirmed 10 fatalities. So officials have hinted that they think that it's going to be a larger count, but there are 10 confirmed in Buncombe County right now.
Has this area ever seen anything like this ever before?
No. People are calling it, the number keeps getting bigger. People started calling it a 100-year flood, then some people started calling it a 500-year flood. Some folks have called it biblical damage. The only thing that we can really compare it to is the Great Flood of 1916, which I was doing a little reading on before this happened, and that was before the most significant flood, and this has surpassed that. And when the flood of 1916 occurred, that had wiped away railroads, power plants, and had 80 fatalities. But the water this time was greater and more widespread.
Any estimate of when things are going to get back, when internet service is going to get back, when roads will be opened again, and running water is restored?
Yeah, so water in Asheville, the city shared information today that said it might not be for up to a few weeks for water, so that's really tough right now. Cell service is looking a little bit more optimistic. We're working with cell providers, particularly Verizon and AT&T, to put up some temporary cell service towers, so folks are getting a little bit more service. They can finally call those loved ones and, you know, check in and tell them that they're okay. Power is still off for a little under 100,000 folks in the area, so, you know, I think it's going to be at least a few weeks to really get everything back on board, and that's not even to mention the roads. Whole roads are wiped away right now. It's really tough. It's going to be a long road. I don't think anybody in this community was really prepared for this.
Laura Hackett of Blue Ridge Public Radio in Asheville, North Carolina. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Officials at Tufts University outside Boston are investigating an athletic team workout this month that resulted in 9 players being hospitalized, some for about a week. The incident has put a spotlight on a serious, somewhat rare, and potentially fatal muscle condition that can be brought on by overexertion. Ali Rogan explains.
The condition is rhabdomyolysis, more commonly known as rhabdo. When muscles are overtaxed or damaged, they actually start to disintegrate. That releases toxic components of muscle fibers into the bloodstream and can cause kidney damage. Dr. Miho Tanaka is director of the Women's Sports Medicine Program at Mass General Brigham. Dr. Tanaka, thank you so much for being here. You treat many professional athletes. How common is this condition and who is most at risk?
Well, this condition is actually quite rare. So in sports medicine, we hope to not see this, but it absolutely, is a reminder that, this can happen even in young, healthy individuals.
And what are the signs if somebody is experiencing this?
Yeah, so the typical signs that we think about with rhabdo are having extreme fatigue, having substantial muscle pain, so pain out of proportion to what you would expect after a workout, and lastly, having darkening of the urine. So anyone who has any of these 3 findings after a strenuous workout should consider having medical evaluation.
Very strenuous workouts have become very popular in the United States. Has there been an increase of rhabdo cases as these types of activities have become more mainstream?
Yeah, we have seen these cases reported, especially when they happen in large numbers, as they have in this case. So when we see teams involved, but we don't actually see the data when it comes to individuals where this occurs. But I think you're exactly right that with these types of strenuous activities and individuals who are just fully capable of pushing themselves beyond their normal limits, I'm sure that there are cases like this, but the actual numbers I'm not really clear about in terms of whether the numbers are actually increasing.
I should note that you're not involved in this case. You don't know the specifics of the incident, but we do know that people on the team disclosed that the person leading the training was an alum who had just completed Navy SEAL training. So does that speak to how important it is that whoever's training a group of athletes or individuals know the level of training that they should not exceed?
Absolutely. I think that the most important aspect of training is to make sure that it's individualized to that individual's capabilities and their level of fitness. And so a fitness plan should definitely incorporate that, as well as a progression that's consistent with that individual's ability. And going way beyond that is when we start to see problems such as injuries or rhabdo in this case.
There have been a number of these incidents among high school and college athletes. Why does it seem to happen particularly in young people?
I think that there may be a lot of reasons that this can happen, but probably the number one reason that we typically see is overexertion. And so when you're given a workout, you're able to push through whatever you're doing, and this is what can lead to this problem. But there are other sort of risk factors that should be taken into consideration as well. The training environment, so whether it's very hot or very humid, or also internal conditions such as being dehydrated, or substances such as caffeine, stimulants, other types of medications can place people at risk. But I think this sort of a general progression of activities and exercises without clear oversight can lead to overexertion of these young athletes.
And when you're talking to athletes about not pushing themselves too far, what do you say to them? How do those conversations go?
Well, I think that, being aware of your limits is the most important thing. And when you're in a workout, it's very difficult to tell what is too much because most athletes, again, are able to push themselves through whatever they're given. And so this is why it's important to take into consideration what you did the week before and where you're trying to go. And working out harder doesn't necessarily get you there faster. And in general, we try to keep people within about 20% of what they did the week prior in terms of the amount that they're increasing to try to minimize the risk of injury and other medical problems.
Dr. Miho Tanaka, Director of the Women's Sports Medicine Program at Mass General Brigham, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks very much.
Jimena Abogavir is a co-founder of a Chilean organization dedicated to changing attitudes about aging. Tonight, she shares her brief but spectacular take on empowering people to live their best lives.
We used to think of life in a linear way. A child is born and you stimulate so that he's brilliant. All this with the idea or the purpose to have a good job. And then you have a third stage where you rest. That's absolutely nonsense. My name is Jimena Bogaví. I'm very proud to say I'm 76 and I come from Santiago de Chile. I am a prototype of a linear life. I had been 35 years working in a foundation, and then came my birthday number 70. I knew I had wrinkles, I know my hair was white, but what had changed was the way people were looking at me, and I didn't like it because they were all trying to protect me, imagining that I was going to fall or that I couldn't learn. And I said, well, that's funny. I mean, what's the matter with all of them? I'm the same. And I started talking to other friends, and they all said, hey, that's the same thing that happens to me. We say that being a woman and old is a double discrimination because women have so many stereotypes about how you should be and how you should look. We decided to found Travesía 100, which it means the journey to 100. And the purpose was changing the mindset about the way we were looking at age. Age as an opportunity and not as a problem. When I speak to groups of people, they always start nodding because what I say is so obvious. We have now 4,000 or more volunteers. What we decided to do, first of all, was empower older people. Because some people retire and say, that's it. Those people tend to sit and get depressed. This is the moment to be yourself. It's a moment to do whatever you thought you were born to do. One of the things we've done with companies is help them understand who are their new older clients, what we call silver economy. If you don't understand silver economy, you will probably try to serve older people with the stereotype you have in your mind as older people that are waiting to die, and that's it, which is not true. You're missing the point. People like me, certainly we're not young, but we are not elders. There's a sort of new generation in the middle. The other things we do is work with private companies to retain older people that are in their workforce so that they don't leave. Because if they leave, you will probably miss a lot of knowledge and experience they have. Some people attend our workshops and start studying a new career or join an NGO. What really energizes you? What makes you wake up in the morning with enthusiasm? Say, I have something to do. This is a wonderful period of time. How can I give back what I have received? What can I contribute to society now? And that's a very powerful message to be alive. My name is Jimena Bogaví Scott, and this is a brief but spectacular take of the journey to 100.
You can watch all of the stories in our brief but spectacular series on aging online at pbs.org/newshour/longevity. And that is PBS News Weekend for this Sunday. I'm John Yang. For all of my colleagues, thanks for joining us. Have a good week.
Major funding for PBS News Weekend has been provided by and with the ongoing support of these individuals and institutions. This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
You're watching PBS. Good evening, I'm Jeff Bennett. On the Navaz is away. On the NewsHour tonight, millions are without power in the southeast as residents begin the long, arduous recovery from Hurricane Helene. Ukraine's president meets with Donald Trump as competing political visions for U.S. aid to Ukraine cast doubt on the future of the war effort. And we go inside a Georgia election center to get an up-close look at the voting protections at the center of a critical swing state.
Fundamentally, it's a problem anytime that you're going to put potentially vulnerable computer between the voter and the only records of their vote.
Major funding for the PBS NewsHour has been provided by the ongoing support of these individuals and institutions, and friends of the NewsHour, including Jim and Nancy Bildner, and the Robert and Virginia Schiller Foundation, the Judy and Peter Bloom Kovler Foundation, upholding freedom by strengthening democracies at home and abroad.
It really matters when you have an opportunity to give back.
Being part of something that's bigger than myself, that's what brings me happiness.
Being able to integrate your professional career with some of these other things that are important to you, it's critical to being happy at the end of the day.
You know, this is our community too, and we want to participate and give back to it.
People want those opportunities to make an impact and a difference.
The John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, fostering informed and engaged communities. More at kf.org.
And with the ongoing support of these individuals and institutions. And friends of the NewsHour. This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to the NewsHour. The devastating impact of Hurricane Helene is being felt far and wide across the South tonight. At least 40 people are dead in 4 states. Millions are without power, and there have been harrowing air rescues from Florida to Tennessee. And although the Category 4 hurricane is now a tropical depression, the threat is not over yet. Christopher Booker has the latest.
Helene's fury unleashed on the Florida Gulf Coast. Coming ashore last night just east of Tallahassee as a Category 4 hurricane, the storm brought sheets of blinding rain and whipping winds at 140 miles an hour. Storm surge threatened to wash cars off roads. Ocean swells grew so high that it carried these boats from the water and smashed them into homes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Flooded streets resembled rivers. Entire neighborhoods looked more like lakes. This man in Cedar Key tried to check on family.
I was trying to make it to my mama's house, but it's neck deep here. Not able to get any further. Oh man.
It prompted thousands of high water rescues from Florida up through the Carolinas. First responders out in boats to rescue people trapped in their homes. In South Pasadena, Florida, firefighters literally battled fires and floods. And in one daring rescue, the Coast Guard airlifted a man and his dog from a stranded sailboat off the coast of Florida's Sanibel Island, with the storm bearing down. Still, Helene claimed lives in multiple states from fallen trees, debris, and possible tornadoes. Many of them in Georgia, where Governor Brian Kemp said the threat was still very real.
It is still very dangerous out there. Even though the winds are starting to die down, there's still trees literally falling.
In the mountains of Asheville, North Carolina, up to 10 inches of rain sent floodwaters roaring past the Biltmore. And in Tennessee, dozens of people had to be airlifted from a hospital engulfed by the rising river. For more than 4 million people across the South tonight, they're left in the dark. And returning power to some customers, officials say, could take days. Helene has now weakened to a tropical depression, but it still threatens millions further inland, hovering over the Tennessee Valley through the weekend. Its sheer size can only fully be comprehended from space, spanning from Missouri to Virginia down to Georgia, where streets and neighborhoods were submerged today, catching many off guard.
I just didn't expect this to happen. Like living over here, it wasn't something that came across my mind. This is so crazy.
Back in Florida's Big Bend, it's been a devastating trifecta of hurricanes. Helene made landfall mere miles from where Idalia struck just last year. And many of the same communities are still reeling from Hurricane Debby just 1 month ago. Governor Ron DeSantis today.
And the early reports we've received is that the damage in those counties that were really in the eye of the storm has exceeded the damage of Idalia and Debby combined.
In Riverview, just outside of Tampa, Randy and Bonnie Hand's home was inundated with water from the nearby Alafaya River. They stayed with family last night, but came back early this morning.
We came back and we were able to get down the street. And we had all the doors taped and sandbagged, but that water finds a way of getting in.
They've been in their home since 1975, and although it has flooded before, they say it's never been this bad. But despite the damage, they've pledged to rebuild no matter how long it takes. Jeff?
And Christopher, you're there in the Tampa area. Tell us more about what you're seeing.
You know, as we drove in from the east toward Tampa, we didn't see a lot of downed trees or that much water. But as we learned through the day, Tampa and nearby Tallahassee were actually spared the brunt of the storm. But here on this street, which is right next to the Alafaya River, nearly every single home was flooded. As you can see behind me, people have been bringing out their damaged furniture, spending the day assessing the damage and trying to figure out what it's going to take to get their homes back to normal.
What else have you heard from officials there about what the last 24 hours have been like for folks?
I had a conversation earlier today with a spokesperson from the Hillsborough County Fire Rescue who said that between 11 p.m. and 6:45, they rescued 500 people. He also said the sheriff department rescued 400 people. So in just under 8 hours, they rescued nearly 1,000 people. For comparison's sake, 2 months ago, there was a tropical storm. They rescued 11 people. He said that the storm surge actually exceeded what they were expecting, and it landed somewhere it rose between 4 and 7 feet, and they received nearly 1,200 calls during that nearly 8-hour period. On a normal night, they might get 2 calls for fires. Last night, they had 47. He also said that this storm was an eye-opening event for Hillsborough, that this is an area that's used to storms, but last night was different.
That is Christopher Booker in Riverview, Florida for us tonight. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Today's other headlines start in the Middle East, where Israel says it struck Hezbollah's central headquarters in Beirut. Massive blasts shook the city just before sunset, flattening several residential buildings. The death toll was not immediately clear. The NewsHour is told that Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah was the target of the strikes. Nasrallah's condition is unknown, though an Israeli official tells the NewsHour that they believe he was at the site. Ali Rogan has more.
In southern Beirut today, multiple massive explosions. Then thick plumes of smoke that engulfed parts of the Lebanese capital. Lebanese media reported that 6 high-rises were bombed, leveled, and reduced to rubble. Israel called it a precise strike targeting Hezbollah headquarters, which it said was built under residential buildings in the densely populated Dahia suburb of Beirut.
Here's the truth. Israel seeks peace. Israel yearns for peace. Israel has made peace and will make peace again.
The strikes coincided with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's address to the United Nations General Assembly in New York. He justified Israel's attacks in Lebanon that have reportedly killed over 700 people this week, even as dozens of diplomats staged a walkout opposing Israel's actions in Gaza and Lebanon.
As long as Hezbollah chooses the path of war, Israel has no choice. They endanger their own people. They put a missile in every kitchen, a rocket in every garage,
A source familiar tells the NewsHour the strikes targeted Hezbollah General Secretary Hassan Nasrallah, who has been its leader for over 3 decades. Nasrallah joined the ranks of Hezbollah in his 20s, working his way up under the mentorship of Hezbollah co-founder Abbas al-Musawi, who was assassinated by Israel in 1992. Today, Beirut reels under the shock of what was the biggest attack on the city in years. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Allie Rogan.
Also today, New York Mayor Eric Adams pleaded not guilty to bribery and other charges in federal court. He's accused of accepting illegal campaign contributions and gifts from Turkish nationals in exchange for using his position to help Turkey's interests. Adams did not speak on his way into the Manhattan courthouse, but flashed a thumbs up to the crowd. His lawyer said he will file a motion next week to request that the charges be dismissed. Adams was released after the hearing. He has said he won't resign and will continue to conduct city business as usual. Vice President Kamala Harris is making her first visit to the nation's southern border today since becoming the Democratic presidential nominee. She touched down in Arizona this afternoon and is set to give remarks later in Douglas, Arizona, near the border. Harris lags behind her rival, Donald Trump, when it comes to voters' trust on the issue of illegal immigration and is looking to close that polling gap. For his part, the Republican nominee was in Michigan today to deliver remarks, according to his campaign, focused on manufacturing and the economy. The Justice Department has charged 3 members of Iran's Revolutionary Guard for the suspected hacking of Donald Trump's presidential campaign. According to a 37-page indictment, the men allegedly engaged in a wide-ranging hacking campaign starting in 2020 that targeted U.S. officials, journalists, and campaign staff. The goal was to damage confidence in the U.S. democratic process. The men are charged with 18 counts, including wire fraud and identity theft. Speaking to reporters today, Attorney General Merrick Garland said the attacks point to the increased threat posed by Iran, plus Russia and China.
These authoritarian regimes, which violate the human rights of their own citizens, do not get a say in our country's democratic process. The American people, and the American people alone, will decide the outcome of our country's elections.
Last month, the Trump campaign said it had been hacked by Iranian actors and that sensitive internal documents had been stolen and distributed. The 3 men charged today all live in Iran and are unlikely to ever face a trial in the U.S. On Wall Street today, stocks ended mixed to close out the week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained more than 130 points to end at a new all-time high. The Nasdaq lost ground, giving back about 70 points on the day. The S&P 500 also ended lower, but just barely, slipping about 7 points. And a venerated star of the stage and screen has died. Dame Maggie Smith, one of the greatest of her generation, won 2 Oscars, 4 Emmys, and a Tony, and played roles many generations will remember.
I'm so looking forward to seeing your mother again. When I'm with her, I'm reminded of the virtues of the English.
But isn't she American?
Exactly.
Has been drooling over her phone.
For nearly 70 years, Dame Maggie Smith enchanted audiences with her signature mix of quick-witted comedy and English elegance.
And never is anything personal between us, is there? Or is that
Prolific and preeminent, she took on a truly impressive range of roles. Smith started her career in the theater, working on Broadway, the West End, and at the Royal Shakespeare Company to great acclaim. Yet she wasn't as widely known until she took on 2 megastar roles in the 2000s. First as Professor Minerva McGonagall in the Harry Potter franchise.
you feel for that assessment, Mr. Weasley?
And later as the sharp-tongued Violet Crawley, Dowager Countess of Grantham and Downton Abbey, the enduringly popular PBS series.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds always just peculiar as a knock.
Earlier in her career, she won an Academy Award for her performance as a Scottish schoolmistress in 1969's The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie.
I am a teacher first, last, always.
The win was a first in her career with no shortage of accolades, including Tonys, Emmys, BAFTAs, and a second Oscar. Smith belonged to a generation of British stars like Judi Dench, who later in life cheekily called themselves the Danes. This Dane was knighted by Queen Elizabeth in 1990. Zelensky Smith was 89 years old. Still to come on the NewsHour, we break down the presidential candidates' competing proposals to counteract crime and gun violence. Jonathan Capehart and Danielle Pletko weigh in on the latest headlines from the campaign trail. And author Dan Z. Senna's new novel, Colored Television, uses fiction and humor to spotlight difficult realities of American life.
This is the PBS NewsHour from the David M. Rubenstein Studio at WETA in Washington, and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is heading back to his home country after a busy week of meetings with leaders here in the U.S. His final sit-down was with former President Donald Trump, whose current bid for president holds high stakes for U.S. support for Ukraine. Stephanie Tsai has more.
Former President Trump and Ukraine's leader Volodymyr Zelensky met at Trump Tower in New York.
We have a common view that the war in Ukraine has to be stopped and Putin can't win, and Ukrainians have to prevail, and I want to discuss with you the details of our plan of victory.
Ahead of their closed-door meeting, Trump said he had a great relationship with Zelensky, crediting him for helping him during the first of his impeachment trials. That scandal exploded 5 years ago when Zelensky, fresh-faced before years of war, sat with then-President Trump at the United Nations.
We're with the President of Ukraine, and he's made me more famous, and I've made him more famous.
The ayes have it. Trump was impeached in late 2019 after he demanded Ukraine provide information on then-candidate Joe Biden in return for releasing military aid to Ukraine. The Republican-controlled Senate acquitted Trump.
The fact that we're even together today is a very good sign.
But in the same breath today, Trump also lauded Russia's president, leading Zelensky to interject. Trump's response was telling.
We have a very good relationship, and I also have a very good relationship, as you know, with President Putin. And I think if we win, I think we're going to get it resolved very quickly. I really think we're going to get it resolved.
I hope we have more good relations.
We're going to have, oh, I see. Yeah, but you know, it takes two to tango, you know. And
with Russian assaults continuing, all week Zelensky found himself caught in the crossfire of the battle for the U.S. presidency, with Trump refusing to say whether Ukraine should win the war. And earlier this week, Trump said this about Ukraine's president.
I think Zelensky's the greatest salesman in history. Every time he comes into the country, he walks away with $60 billion.
Trump also suggested this week that Ukraine should have made concessions to Russia to avert the war.
Ukraine is gone. It's not Ukraine anymore. Any deal, even the worst deal, would have been better than what we have right now.
His running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, has also focused on the war's price tag.
I don't appreciate Zelensky coming to this country and telling the American taxpayers what they ought to do. He ought to say thank you to the American taxpayers.
Vance and other Republicans have ramped up their critique of Zelensky since an interview with The New Yorker published Sunday. In it, Zelensky called Vance's stance on Ukraine too radical and said Trump doesn't really know how to stop the war, even if he might think he knows how. Republicans charge that Zelensky has waded too far into U.S. politics. Early this week, Zelensky visited an ammunitions factory in Pennsylvania with Democrats. Now, the GOP Speaker of the House is calling for Ukraine's ambassador to resign, and a House committee is investigating whether laws or ethics were breached.
Well, President Zelensky, it is good to see you again.
In Washington yesterday, Zelensky stood alongside Vice President Kamala Harris, who lambasted Trump's insistence on striking a quick deal.
These proposals are the same of those of Putin. And let us be clear, they are not proposals for peace. Instead, they are proposals for surrender.
Surrender is far from Zelensky's mind, as he tries to sell his plan for victory to the U.S. while walking a tightrope. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Stephanie Tsai.
Georgia is one of the battlegrounds. Georgia is one of the battlegrounds where local and state officials are grappling with some big changes about certifying the vote and a new requirement to hand count the total number of ballots. Miles O'Brien looks at another concern raised by some experts about a potential vulnerability of the voting machines. State officials say they are more than prepared. Here's his report.
It's a few weeks before a primary election day in Bartow County, Georgia, and election workers are conducting a logic and accuracy test of computers that stand between voters and their ballots.
Where it says text size, touch that, and then do big.
Big, okay. They are ImageCast X ballot marking devices, or BMDs, made by Dominion Voting Storage.
Be able to stay home, brother.
Military structure complete. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Military structure complete.
You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag.
Military structure complete.
Because the revolution will not be televised.
Military structure complete.
The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading the charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary.
Place your bids, you scallywags. Where do you need me?
The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia.
We're underway.
The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will
Ahead
not
slow. Next time, place a bid. A sound plan.
The revolution will not be televised, brother.
Hostile forces have arrived. We're underway. Our fleet is under attack. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. An Allied capital ship has been destroyed. Our fleet is under attack.
The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on
We have wiped out an enemy colony.
There will be no slow motion or still lights of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts
Reporting in.
Green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Key, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with Coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
You've won us over with your fancy words and your coin.
Your business is appreciated.
We're underway. Reporting in. A new colony has been founded. How can I be of service? A sound plan. Defense upgrade complete. Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Our fleet is under attack. Let's see if we can scrape our way out of this. Let's get there safe and sound. This is the Akan battle cruiser. My shields are down. Done and dusted. Military structure complete. We're wide open! Armor's been breached! Military research complete. Reporting in, and it doesn't look good. How can I be of service? We're underway.
We are entertaining offers.
Civilian structure complete. Civilian structure complete. Reporting in. Civilian research complete. A sound plan. More ANFA required.
You opted out of bidding.
All hands, prepare for phase jump. An Allied capital ship has been destroyed. Military research complete. Additional credits required. Where do you need me? How can I be of service? All hands, prepare for phase jump. Civilian structure complete. We're underway. Defense upgrade complete. Civilian research complete. Civilian structure complete. Reporting in. The item is complete. Ahead slow. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Military research complete. Civilian structure complete. Exotic resources have been located by our survey teams. Military structure complete. Military structure complete. Reporting in.
Bought and sorted.
You've made a wise acquisition.
Civilian research complete. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Military research complete. Civilian structure complete. Mining upgrade complete. How can I be of service? A sound plan. Ahead slow. Military structure complete. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Exotic resources have been located by our survey teams.
An auction is underway.
Reporting in. A sound plan. Civilian research complete. We're underway. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Planet item complete. Hostile forces have arrived. Brace for combat. Our planet is under siege.
failed to place a bid.
Where do you need me? This should be a routine combat mission. Ahead slow. All hands, prepare for phase jump.
I will deliver your order personally.
Civilian research complete. Where do you need me? Exotic resources have been located by our survey teams. Reporting in. Military research tier complete. All hands, prepare for phase jump. We've lost contact with one of our planets. Civilian research complete. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Ahead slow. Where do you need me? We're underway. Civilian research complete. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Brace for combat. Finally! Weapons fired up! An Allied capital ship has been destroyed. Getting the jump drive in order. How can I be of service? Civilian research complete. Reporting in. Ahead slow. Where do you need me? A sound plan. How can I be of service? We're underway. A sound plan. An Allied capital ship has been destroyed.
I will deliver your order personally.
An Allied colony has been lost.
We are entertaining offers.
Defense upgrade complete. We're underway. Military structure complete. How can I be of service? Military structure complete. Civilian research complete. All hands. Prepare for phase jump. Military structure complete. Our fleet is under attack. Let's see if we can scrape our way out of this. Hope we're up to the task. Military structure complete. A sound plan. We're underway.
You opted out of bidding.
Bought and sorted.
This is the Akan battle cruiser. My shields are down. Planet item complete. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Where do you need me? Civilian research complete. Our fleet is under attack. Mining upgrade complete. Reporting in. Ahead slow. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Military research complete. A sound plan. Just a short detour while we clear a path. An Allied colony has been lost. Our fleet is under attack. Where do you need me? We're underway. Civilian research complete. We're underway. This should be a routine combat mission.
You can see the San Francisco Bay, Alcatraz open a landfill, and we reminisce on the front porch under a yellow line. Another East Bay.
Mining upgrade complete. Planet item complete. How can I be of service? Hold tight. This'll only take a minute. Civilian structure complete. Hold steady. We're going in. Military research complete. Civilian structure complete.
Look into the bay, you know some things they just feel right. Another East Bay night. East Bay night. East Bay night. East Bay night. Gonna be alright.
How can I be of service? Ahead slow. We have wiped out an enemy colony. Civilian structure complete. A new colony has been founded. We're underway. All hands, prepare for phase jump.
You transfer the credits. We'll handle your enemies.
Ready for action. Civilian structure complete.
Let the bidding commence.
Our fleet is under attack. Civilian research complete. This is the Akan battle cruiser. My shields are down. Additional credits required. How can I be of service? Brace for combat. Brace for combat.
Unfortunately, the auction slipped from your grasp.
Planet item complete. Secure the passengers. Ahead slow. Hold steady. We're going in. Hostile forces have arrived. Logistics upgrade complete. Where do you need me? A sound plan. We're wide open! Armor's been breached! How can I be of service? All hands, prepare for phase jump. Civilian research complete. Reporting in. Our fleet is under attack. Reporting in. Ahead slow. The item is complete. Civilian structure complete. Where do you need me? An ally has lost a starbase. Logistics upgrade complete. A sound plan. All hands, prepare for phase jump. Hostile forces have arrived. Give the order. Fleet created. Deploying. Go ahead. An ally colony has been lost. Our fleet is under attack. Transmission received. How can I be of service? A sound plan. We're underway. An Allied capital ship has been destroyed. Our fleet is under attack. All hands, prepare for phase jump. A sound plan. An Allied capital ship has been destroyed. Our fleet is under attack. Our fleet has arrived at a phase jump inhibitor and is now trapped. Planet item complete. Our fleet is under attack. Reporting in, and it doesn't look good. Let's get there safe and sound.
Let the bidding commence.
Where to, Commander? Ready for orders. Deploying. Where to, Commander? Ready for orders. Commerce upgrade complete.
No bid. You missed out.
Where to, Commander? Transmission received. Fleet deployment acknowledged. Finally! Stand by for phase jump. Fleet deployment acknowledged. Reporting in. We're underway. Military research complete. This should be a routine combat mission.
Your influence is undeniable.
Hostile forces have arrived.
I will deliver your order personally.
Where do you need me? Ready for orders. An excellent plan. This is the Akan battlecruiser. My shields are down. We're in a tough spot. How can I help? Our fleet is under attack. Could be risky with these passengers aboard. We're wide open. Armor's been breached. An Allied capital ship has been destroyed. Military research complete. Our fleet has arrived at a phase jump inhibitor and is now trapped. An Allied capital ship has been destroyed. Our fleet is under attack. What do you want? Go ahead. Coming about. Our fleet has arrived at a phase jump inhibitor and is now trapped. Reporting in. Ahead slow. Go ahead. Coming about. How can I be of service? All hands, prepare for phase jump. An Allied capital ship has been destroyed. Where to, Commander? You heard the Commander. An excellent plan. Planet item complete. You heard the Commander. This is the Akan battlecruiser. My shields are down. Coming about. Where do you need me? Ready for orders. Hostile forces have arrived. Our fleet has arrived at a phase jump inhibitor and is now trapped. Planet is under siege. Our fleet is under attack. Repairs needed. We're crippled. Let's see if we can scrape our way out of this. Fleet deployment acknowledged. We're in a tough spot. How can I help?
Let the bidding commence.
Let's see if we can scrape our way out of this. An excellent plan. Our fleet is under attack. Coming about. You heard the Commander. Civilian structure complete. We're in a tough spot. How can I help? Logistics upgrade complete. An ally has lost a starbase. Civilian structure complete. Code Red, we're going down!
bid. You missed out.
Coming about. You heard the commander. Commanders on deck.
Hostile forces have arrived.
You've made a wise acquisition.
I will deliver your order personally.
Military research complete. What now, Commander? Call them in and jump already.
Civilian structure complete. Defense upgrade complete. Military structure complete. Additional credits required.
Commanders on deck.
An enemy empire has been destroyed. An opportunity presents itself. An allied colony has been lost.
An excellent plan.
We've lost contact with one of our planets.
What now, Commander?
Military structure complete. Military structure complete.
Who needs air support?
Hostile forces have arrived. Our planet is under siege.
Commanders on deck. You heard the commander. Coming about. Call him in and jump already. You heard the commander. Coming about. Call him in and jump already.
Let the bidding commence.
You heard the commander. An excellent plan. You heard the commander. You heard the commander.
Our fleet is under attack.
What now, Commander?
Military research complete.
Call him in and jump already.
Your business is appreciated.
Done and dusted. An allied capital ship has been destroyed.
Who needs air support?
We've lost contact with one of our planets.
No bid. You missed out.
Times of war are upon us. Yes, Commander, at once.
Hostile forces have arrived.
Who needs air support? Easily done.
Our fleet is under attack. Our planet is under siege. Our fleet is under attack.
Item complete, Commander. For the home world. Shields down, Commander! What now?
Defense upgrade complete.
every other time I've died is because I've either fallen off or something or got hit by like an... Or no, one time I got killed by a cursed thrall because, you know, those fuckers just like to explode next to you. I am recording. I suppose it's true. Oh, okay. No problem. Let me take 5 real quick. You know who is doing this thing. That's all right. Filler's good. Well, then I'll lay you outside then. We'll see what happens. Yeah, sure. We'll see. But, GG for the latest against this in Missouri. The auto rifle didn't really have that good of a pair to me, but I didn't check the others. Well, according to this, the sidearm, the sniper rifle, and the sword are all A range. That rifle is B, yeah. And then the handgun is B. I might lose you, I'm outside with him. Oh, okay. Well, you can just mute yourself or something. Oh, okay, yeah, hang on. Go ahead. Over here. This video's about that. Sweet. Well, since you're just joining me, I finished one of the first major boss fights of the operation, the Maw of Zivu Arath, which is a shielded knight in the area on the Sterath station that I'm on. And for some reason, the Hive are on board and also controlling the Fallen. So while fighting the Maw, I was whooping its ass, obviously. And it said, oh, it calls on House Salvation for reinforcements, and then it drops 3 brigs at once. So, with literally hundreds of ads. My last death screen, I think it said I've already got like 500 kills or something like that. Okay, so it sounds like it's focused? Yeah, so what it is no, I'm using a pulse rifle. I have a slug shotgun for close range, and I have an arc rocket launcher because this one is arc burn for both sides, and it is also solar burn for them, I believe. Either that or it's the other way around. I'm not 100% if you get my drift. But most of the operation has been pretty easy for a solo player. For anybody who wants to run Operation Seraph Shield solo, I highly recommend it because the damage and amount of combatants are scaled. So if you do it alone, they give you way less enemies to fight. If you run it with 2 or a full fire team, you get a lot more ads. So be warned for that. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. I would jump up on you. I've been listening to the Letterkenny soundtrack, and the fucking, the techno, the techno, the punk, I'm just like, damn, this shit hits. Oh, you know what? No, I just turned my mic off while I'm taking my minute.
It seems ironic that
Georgia is one of the battlegrounds where local and state officials are grappling with some big changes about certifying the vote and a new requirement to hand count the total number of ballots. Miles O'Brien looks at another concern raised by some experts about a potential vulnerability of the voting machines. State officials say they are more than prepared. Here's his report.
it's a few weeks before a primary election day in Bartow County, Georgia, and election workers are conducting a logic and accuracy test of computers that stand between voters and their ballots.
Where it says text size, touch that, and then do big.
Big, okay. They are ImageCast X ballot marking devices, or BMDs, made by Dominion Voting Systems. Everyone who votes in person in Georgia uses one of these touchscreen computers to record their choices and then prints a marked paper ballot, which gets scanned and tabulated.
So are these machines worth the added cost and complexity?
I advocated for it.
Joseph Kirk is the election supervisor here. He says the ballot marking devices offer advantages over paper ballots marked by hand.
These guides the voter through the process. It makes sure that there's no question about their intent.
A small percentage of selections on hand-marked ballots are disqualified because voters make ambiguous marking. Dominion's ballot marking devices may address that issue, but many election security experts say they inject stubborn uncertainties into the voting process.
Fundamentally, it's a problem anytime that you're going to put a potentially vulnerable computer between the voter and the only records of their vote.
J. Alex Halderman is a professor of electrical engineering and computer science at the University of Michigan. He is among those who advocate for hand-marked paper ballots.
I guess it seems ironic that the best computer scientists in the world will tell you the best technology for an election is pen and paper.
Well, that's absolutely right. And the reason for that is we know how paper can be secured, we know how digital systems can be attacked, right? The risks aren't even comparable.
Halderman has spent a lot of time studying the risks. He is an expert witness for the plaintiffs in a pending federal lawsuit seeking an injunction against using the current voting system. Haldeman says he and his team found 9 vulnerabilities in the Dominion system. We met at a law office in Atlanta in March. He showed me some of what he demonstrated in open court.
We thought like an attacker. What would an attacker want to do? How could an attacker circumvent the layers of protection that are in this machine and in a real polling place?
Haldeman demonstrated a few seemingly easy ways to breach the security of the Dominion ballot marking device. He used a pen to recycle the power, which gave him administrative control of the computer. And he used a widely available USB device favored by computer security experts and hackers to rewrite the software of the machine. All of this mischief could occur without an obvious trace. That's because the scanner that tabulates the votes does not look at the human-readable text. Instead, it derives its data from this QR code.
We can change just the QR code and leave all of the voter visible text identical to what the voter entered on screen. So as a voter, there's nothing at all that you can see that's going to indicate there was a problem.
Haldeman and his team worry that the hacks could propagate through an entire county or even statewide. While the ballot marking devices are not directly plugged into the internet, as they are updated and operated, they regularly exchange data with online systems through USB memory sticks and smart cards.
That could potentially provide a route for hackers far away on the internet to gain access to BMDs. The kinds of attackers that worry me in this scenario include some of the most sophisticated adversaries in the world, foreign governments like Russia, or China, or Iran.
We asked Dominion for a response. A spokesperson emailed us this: the claim that someone could hack an election with a pen is flatly false. A court directive gave Mr. Haldeman, as plaintiff's paid expert, unfettered access to system security features, including passwords, security cards, election files, and more. This did not take into account the many layers of physical and operational safeguards. There is no evidence that any of these apparent vulnerabilities have ever been exploited. Georgia state election officials say they are hypothetical scenarios.
Almost always are mitigated by the processes that are put in place around the election system itself.
Gabe Sterling is the Chief Operating and Financial Officer for the Secretary of State. He says that many layers of people and processes surrounding these machines make it impossible for a voter to reboot them with a pen or insert a USB device without being detected.
So what Alex Haldeman demonstrated, we believe, is not a real-world scenario. The computer experts focus solely on the computer. They focus nothing on voting processes and human behavior, but they don't look at the entirety of how the system works. The reality of it is there's so many safeguards around it.
But what if there was an inside job? This is exactly what happened in early 2021 in rural Coffee County, Georgia. The election supervisor and the local chair of the Republican Party invited Trump campaign allies and a data forensics team into the secure area where the Dominion machines and the election management server are stored. For several days, they copied proprietary software and confidential data. It is one of the most infamous security breaches in U.S. election history. It was uncovered by the Coalition for Good Governance and other plaintiffs in that federal lawsuit. David Cross is one of the lead attorneys.
It was distributed on the internet to people that have IP addresses that show up around the world. And so it's hard to know where all this is going at this point.
They give away all the keys, essentially. Are they all out there?
Those keys have been out in the ether now for years. The state has done nothing to protect the system against that.
In late 2022, Dominion Voting Systems released a new software system which makes the QR code optional. It was approved by the United States Election Assistance Commission in early 2023, but Georgia has yet to upgrade its fleet of about 30,000 machines.
People somehow thought that this was like an iPhone download that you do overnight.
Brad Raffensperger is Georgia's Secretary of State.
No, this is actually a full installation of boots on the ground, in all 159 counties, of all 30,000 pieces of equipment.
How much time does it take to do that?
We're looking at 4 to 6 months.
In early 2023, Raffensperger asked the state legislature for $25 million to get the job done in time for the November 5th presidential election. But the request was not approved. You have such a complex system that is not able to respond to a security threat very quickly, is it?
Well, we are where we are, and so we, are now into an election. So those are issues that the General Assembly can take up next session, and they don't need to next January.
The state did pass a law to eliminate the QR code by 2026. In the meantime, Georgia is relying on additional oversight.
Every other time I've died because I've either fallen off of something or got hit by lightning. Or no, one time I got killed by a cursed frog because, those fuckers just like to explode next to you. I'm recording.
Georgia is one of the battlegrounds of the Oakland state of
No problem. Let me take 5 real quick. You know who is doing this.
certifying the vote.
I'll wait outside them and see what happens. Yeah, sure, we'll see.
Ryan looks at another concern raised.
The auto rifle didn't really have that good of a pair to me, but I didn't check the others. Well, according to this, the sidearm, the sniper rifle, the sword are all A-range.
Trump has given a few other details about music. You can look at it more specifically. He would require that police forces, in order to get federal funding, employ stop and frisk. That is that police method which looks at people that police believe are suspicious, and they would pat them down to try and find weapons or guns or drugs. It's a controversial program. He would require it in order to get federal funding. He also would have a crackdown on illegal drugs. To do that, as he said, he would invoke a death penalty, he says, on drug dealers. He hasn't given other specifics, and human traffickers. We don't know exactly what that means, but that's as severe of a penalty as you can have. It's in contrast, though, to when he was president. At that time, he signed the First Step Act. That's something that actually reduced the punishments and sentences for some non-violent drug offenders, including traffickers, and he personally pardoned or commuted the sentences for dozens of drug traffickers.
So what about Vice President Harris, former prosecutor, former state attorney general? What's her approach?
Let's talk especially about policing and Vice President Kamala Harris. Her opponents accuse Harris of wanting to defund the police, but she has never used that phrasing. Instead, she's really carefully walked this line, sometimes in a vague way. So let's go back to 2020. After the death of George Floyd, Harris then said that, in fact, she thought there should be a reimagining of public safety, more resources for education, for housing, for community development. She did say at that time, in her opinion, it was right to question the size of police budgets. Now, while in the White House, she has pushed for more community intervention funding. At the same time, as the issue of crime has risen while she's been in the White House, the Biden and Harris administration has also pushed for more funding for police. Now, that includes things like police detectives, forensics, and also some prosecutors as well, her specialty. One of her key advisors has said that that's not in conflict, that both can happen, that you can increase funding for the police but also push for reform. What reforms does she want exactly? She hasn't specified. But Harris's main focus in terms of solving crime as a candidate is about prevention, especially about gun violence.
Well, let's talk more about that. What are the candidates saying about what they would do if elected about this issue of gun violence in particular?
Right, let's start with Harris because it really is central to what she is saying as a candidate. Here is something she said at an event just yesterday.
I'm in favor of the Second Amendment, and I believe we need to reinstate the assault weapons ban and pass universal background checks, safe storage laws, and red flag laws. When we took office, we promised to take on the crisis of gun violence, and we passed, under the president's leadership, the first major gun safety law in nearly 30 years.
That bipartisan law actually extended some background checks, and it closed some loopholes. Now, in addition to that, as you heard Harris say, she would ban assault-style weapons. She would also ban high-capacity magazines. Those are things we know often are used, especially in mass shootings in this country. But she would also extend more background checks and red flag laws. She wants also more community intervention, as I mentioned. And talking to experts, Jeff, that's something that they say already has had a positive impact, that gun violence they see is being affected in a positive way downward because of community intervention. As for former President Trump, he says repeatedly on the trail, he wants to protect gun rights. he opposes bans on assault-style weapons and high-capacity magazines. But otherwise, honestly, he hasn't given many details this cycle. So if you go back a little bit and look at him as president, there's a mixed record for him on guns. One is that he asked that bombs be declared illegal.
The other part of the ship that we need to get to, because the fallen are apparently really, really fucking stupid. We are, and this one.
Of crime. It might be a...
That's my only death by combat so far. Every other time I've died is because I've either fallen off of something or got hit by lightning. Or no, one time I got killed by a cursed troll because, those fuckers just like to explode and
again, especially from Trump and Republicans. There were new figures out just today, or just this week rather, from
no problem. Let me take 5 real quick. You know who is doing this thing.
Garland said that crime rates have gone up.
Then I'll wait outside then and see what happens. Yeah, sure, we'll see.
What does that mean? Violent crime nudged down from last year to this year.
The auto rifle didn't really have that good of a pair to me, but I didn't check the others.
According to this, just last year. Now, Trump and his allies are saying they don't like those FBI statistics, which are based on the country. Instead, they'd like to use a